You want to go first, mate?
Go first if you like. Yeah. So my name's Anthony Lambert. I was in the Marines for 6 years. I joined there straight out of sixth form college, where I'd done horticulture and all things. Decided I didn't want to work with plants all my life, so I joined the Marines, went to Afghanistan. Decided shortly after then it wasn't for me. As I was leaving, I met Louis, and since I've left the Marines, I've spent the past 6 years working as a commercial diver. So just freelance, working around the world, welding stuff under the water, all sorts of horrible jobs, cool jobs.
Close to a legitimate pirate, and is basically professional pirate. Yeah, my name's Louis Nethercott. I was in the Royal Marines as well. Had some adventures with the Royal Marines, had a great time, and then after Afghanistan in 2011, same tour that Ant was on. It was quite a punchy tour, lost quite a few guys, saw quite a lot of combat, and as a result I ended up getting medically discharged from the Royal Marines. So since then, you know, it took a bit of time to refocus, quite a lot of time, and Expedition 5 came sort of around in that period of time. But since then I've began to work with the charity Help for Heroes, coaching and mentoring guys that are going through a similar journey to myself, that have been medically discharged from service. So that's kind of what I do when I'm not on the expeditions, coach and mentor guys like myself a few years ago. We both did a tour of Afghanistan in the same unit, 4-2 Commando, but we weren't actually working together at that point in time. So we were out in Afghanistan together. I was in one area, Ant was in another, on the same tour. And then when we came back to the UK, our unit came back to the UK, we both got drafted to another unit together.
In North Devon.
In North Devon.
Commando Logistic Regiment. So like, we both got drafted there. I was fairly miserable with the Marines at that point, like disenfranchised with a lot of the military, and Louis was obviously going through his problems post-Afghan, and we were both kind of in a similar mindset, and we wanted something a bit more than what the Marines had to offer for us, so we clicked on that kind of level, didn't we? So like it basically started with us throwing ourselves off cliffs down at Baggy Point in Devon, like just going tombstoning and swimming for lobsters and stuff, weren't we? Like to kind of get out of the monotony of the Marines.
Yeah, it was an odd period of time. I think that it had been a really hard tour in Afghanistan, so there was a lot of guys like ourselves in a bit of a strange mindset in terms of it does provoke questions about how you're living your life and what you want to do going forwards. And I think we were both in the same sort of headspace as to whether really we wanted to be part of the military anymore, and if we didn't, what else were we going to do? So getting outside into the sea, up mountains, doing little adventures together was a bit like our sort of headspace and a bit of time away from all of that.
It was a weird one because like our lives had, like, for the years building up to Afghan, had kind of been building up to go into Afghanistan. And that had been like our sole focus, and we went there and it wasn't, well, it's kind of what you can expect from going to Afghanistan as an infantry soldier, but you know, you come back with a lot of questions, you know, that you can't really answer for yourself. And yeah, we were kind of looking at, you know, what was next on the horizon for us both, and you know, to kind of fill the time and take our heads out of what was quite a negative environment for everyone at the time. We started doing some cool shit.
Yeah. So that period of time sort of led up to it, and I think to the point where I was properly discharged from the Royal Marines, and that was end of it for me. By that time, Ant was already out and doing his stuff in the diving world, which was quite a challenging place to get work at that point in time. So again, we both found ourselves in a sort of similar place psychologically, just a bit, we needed something else in our lives, and it didn't seem that there was something sort of immediately around us, so we felt we had to create something.
Yeah, we always had this kind of running joke between us, like we'd phone each other every few months, and like there'd always be a running joke that we both had a Bergen packed in a shed ready to go, just one of us had to make a call, and like we weren't sure what we'd do, what it was going to be, but we knew like as soon as one of us made the call, we were going to go on a mad trip somewhere, you know, whether we went out to the jungle somewhere, or if we went climbing some mountains in Greenland, we just make the call. And then I think it was as you were coming out, you made the call, didn't you? Cold day, was it, mate?
Yeah, don't want to smile because my lips will crack.
Complete white out.
The project, crossing the 5 largest islands on the planet using human power alone, is a series of 5 expeditions. So far, we've crossed Borneo, the 3rd largest island on the planet.
1,500 kilometres, 1,495 kilometres. So.
Yeah, east to west crossing of Kalimantan, Indonesian, Borneo. Then we crossed Papua New Guinea from north to south.
Around 800 kilometres, I think.
Yeah.
700 and something.
Crossed Madagascar, and most recently crossed Greenland. So we're 4 islands in to getting the whole lot done. One island remains, which is Baffin Island.
Yeah. So we covered close to 4,000 kilometres just using human power at this point.
Yeah.
And that's been a series of, like, in Borneo, we yomped, so we trekked half of it, and then the other half we rode on a little canoe thing that we got off the locals. Same in Papua New Guinea. Madagascar, we walked the whole thing, and then in Greenland, obviously we walked a little bit, climbed a little bit, and then skied the majority of the journey.
Yeah.
So it's been a whole mixed bag of, you know, different ways of traversing, but the theme has been human power throughout.
We obviously left it to last for a reason. It's a big old challenge. So it's the 5th largest island on the planet, sits north of Canada in the Northwest Passage. In fact, if we finished where we finished our Greenland expedition, if we just carried on across the sea west, we'd hit Baffin Island. So it's
why didn't we just do that?
Similar latitude. But it presents a real mixed bag of challenges, and it's something that we're working through at the moment. It's got a fairly solid population of polar bears there. The temperatures, you know, can get as low as what?
I think -50 odd in the middle of winter.
Yeah.
It's fairly similar to Greenland, except for the fact, like, Greenland, geographically, we had the help of a big old ice cap, which it sounds quite challenging, but it's once you're up on that ice cap, it's fairly simple. Like, you just ski, set a bear and ski. Whereas, like, I think Louis described it when we were first looking at it as Scotland, Baffin Island as Scotland on steroids. Like, you've just got mountains everywhere, rivers everywhere, which means we can't have the luxury of doing it like a full crossing, really, because you can't carry 30 odd days worth of provisions in a backpack. It's just impossible. Like, so we'll have to ski it and use pulps and things like that. And then obviously doing it in the winter, you're presented by a lot more challenges in terms of the weather, in terms of very little hours of daylight, things like that. And when we were looking at it, like, originally, we realised, like, that one or New Guinea was going to have to be our last one, because we knew those two were going to be the massive challenges. And when we decided to do the cold islands last, that kind of fell into the place that this was going to be the last island. So we really wanted to cut our teeth on Greenland, which we have done, to make sure there was kind of no room for error going into Baffin.
Yeah.
It's a fairly daunting looking place. There's been a couple of expeditions go across it in the summer that have had caches and that have canoed it. That kind of defeats the self-supported aspect of it for us. So we've been looking at routes that people have done like that, seeing if we can ski along the rivers, along some of the lakes and things like that. But it's a headache, like.
Yeah, headache and intimidating. Yeah, so obviously we're doing this series of expeditions and the whole world record to raise funds and awareness for two charities, Help Heroes and the Royal Marines Charity. Both do awesome work supporting wounded, injured and sick servicemen and women.
Yeah, obviously it's like fairly poignant to us because our backgrounds and a lot of our friends got wounded and obviously a few lads got killed when we were out on tour in Afghan, and these charities, like from first-hand experience, do amazing work with the wounded guys and like the families of the people that unfortunately lost their lives. So.
Yeah, so if you wanna support the charity, well, support us, support the charities, then
chuck the boys a £5.
Chuck the lads £5 for crossing the 5 largest islands on the planet.
Can't say fairer than that. All the money that goes on our Virgin Giving page goes straight to the charity, so it doesn't pay for Louis to get a new pair of glasses or anything like that.